Okay, so let's work through a few problems, and that's kind of the best way to figure out how to solve for these variables. Number one on the notes. I didn't write it all up here. If the wind speed is 15 miles per hour, the wind chill can be approximated by the formula W is equal to 1.4 T minus 32, where T is the air temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. And we're going to solve this formula for T. We're going to solve this formula for T. Look at that, I identified my variable. The first thing I want you guys to do is rewrite this. I don't want you to just, be trying to do it up in the question. So rewrite it down here at the bottom. W is equal to 1.4 T minus 32. Alright. What is happening to T? T is being multiplied by 1.4 and then 32 is being subtracted from it. So since 32 is that last operation, we're going to add 32 first to both sides. So I'm trying to isolate this guy. Plus 32 to both sides. And I'm going to have W plus 32 is equal to 1.4 times T. Okay? And like I just said, we have 1.4 times T. What's the inverse of that? Divide by 1.4. So I'm going to divide both sides by 1.4. And when I do that, we have T by itself now. So I'm going to rewrite my new equation over there, and that's going to be it. So W plus 32 over 1.4 is equal to T. Box around it, you're done. Excuse me. So number 2 then says, use the new formula found above, our new formula found above, to determine the air temperature, T, if the wind chill temperature is negative 10 degrees Fahrenheit. So, in this case, our W is going to equal negative 10 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we're going to plug this into here. All right, let's do it. Sorry. So I'm going to have negative 10, that's going to be in place of W, plus 32 over 1.4 is equal to T. Negative 10 plus 32 gives me 22 divided by 1.4. That's going to give me 15.71, and that'll be in. Then make sure you label it. So that'll be in degrees Fahrenheit. Beautiful. For L. Do you guys know what this is a formula for? It's for the perimeter of a rectangle. Just in case you're wondering. I'm sure you're all dying to know. So I want to solve for L. Want to get that by itself? What is happening to L? It's being multiplied by 2, and then 2W is being added to it. So I can subtract 2W first, since that was the last operation on it. So I'm going to subtract 2W from both sides, and then these will cancel out. I'm going to rewrite it, and I will have P minus 2W is equal to 2L. Okay? So what is happening to L there yet? It's being multiplied by 2. So what's the inverse of that? Dividing by 2. Let's do that to both sides now. I'm going to divide by 2 over here. I'm going to divide by 2 over here. These cancel out, and I have L by itself. So now all I need to do is rewrite my equation. And our final answer is going to be P minus 2W over 2 is equal to L. Put a box around it and we're done. This is our final answer. Now make sure that when you're doing these, don't try to divide this by 2 because it's simplified as far as it can be right now. 4A. Okay, so I want to get this guy right there by himself. Once again, what is happening to A? A is being multiplied by 0.75, and then this quantity is being subtracted from 165. So I'm going to get rid of this 165 first, and don't get fooled by this, because is this 165 positive or negative? Don't worry about this. We need to look in the front. There's no negative, so that's a positive 165. And we want to do the inverse of that. So we're going to subtract 165 from both sides. These will cancel out. R minus 165 is equal to, don't forget to include your negative sign again, negative 0.75a. Okay, so now what is happening to a still? A is being multiplied by a negative 0.75. I want to do the inverse of that. I'm going to divide by a negative 0.75 to both sides. Divide by negative 0.75. Negative 0.75. When I do that, these are going to cancel out. And I have a by itself. So now all I have to do is rewrite my equation. What do I have over here? I have R, oh wow, that is not an R. I have R minus 165 over negative 0.75, and that is equal to A. Box it, we're done. And now once again, that is simplified as far as it can be, so don't try to get that negative 0.75 out of the denominator. It can stay down there. For H. Okay, I want to solve for this guy here. What is happening to H? H, R squared is being multiplied by it, and pi is being multiplied by it. This is a pretty simple one, actually. So these are both being multiplied by it. What is the inverse of that then? If they both get divided by it, and we can divide both of them at the same time. You don't have to try to do them separately or anything. We can divide both of these at the same time. So I'm going to divide pi r squared. I'm going to divide pi r squared. These are canceling out. I'm left with an h. Look at that, one step wonder. So all we have to do is rewrite our equation now. And I am left with v over pi r squared, and that's equal to h. We solve for h, and that's all we had to do. Okay, so I have v times p plus a inside the parentheses is equal to k, and we're going to solve for this p here inside these parentheses. Okay, your first instinct might be to divide by v, but we can't do that. Why? Because we still have to apply like our order of operations. We need to distribute this v into these parentheses. So v goes to p and v goes to a. We distribute it in there. So when we do that, we rewrite it as vp plus v times a. And that is equal to k. Once again, I'm trying to solve for this p here. So now we can ask ourselves, what is happening to that p? Well, p is being multiplied by v, and then v plus a is being added to it. So I'm going to subtract va first, because that was the last operation that's happening to it, minus va, cancel out. Now I have vp is equal to k minus va. Oh, that's all, yeah. And this guy is the one we're trying to solve for, remember? So what's happening to him? Well, he's being multiplied by v. Once again, what is the opposite or inverse of that? Dividing. So now we're going to divide both sides by v. I have a p standing alone on this side, so all I have to do is rewrite my equation. P is equal to k minus va over v. And that's our final answer. And don't worry that there's a v on the top and on the bottom of this equation over here. Like, you can't simplify that anymore. That's our final answer. Okay, so now you guys have, I don't know, like 3 or 4 to do on your own. Good luck. I'm going to check those on Monday in class.